Hello everyone, welcome back to Dugout Daily. I'm Charlie and I'm joined by Bernard again. How are you, mate?
I'm fine, mate. Thanks for having me on again. And it's getting a bit light. Is it light still out? Is it? Oh no, a little bit lighter. It's getting a bit lighter now. The spring is coming, mate. Spring's coming.
Yeah. We'll get straight to it then. On Saturday afternoon, it was City 4, Fulham 1. Fulham took the lead through Fabio Carvalho, then 2 goals in quick succession by Gundogan and then John Stones, and then a brace by Riyad Mahrez to make it 4-1 to City. What was your thoughts on the game, Bernard?
Yeah, I thought first half was fairly even, to be honest with you. I thought Fulham played very well without really testing Stefan that much, to be honest with you, apart from the goal. I don't think Stefan had many saves to make in that first half, and vice versa. We didn't exactly pepper Fulham's goal either, so I think it was fairly even. We'll see, obviously, probably see the stats in a bit and the how it went. But I think overall City thoroughly deserved it. I think Fulham played some nice football that suited City. Once we got past that first 4 minutes and they scored the goal, we settled down very quickly after that by getting the equaliser very quickly. I thought it was a good enough performance. But I think Fulham will be, I can't see anyone stopping them getting promotion, but they will need to tighten that defence up. Otherwise, they'll bounce straight back down again the season after if they're not careful. But I would certainly say yes, they're definitely well worth the 5-point gap they've got at the top of the championship at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, we'll look at the team news from Saturday's game. Big up Josh in the chat. Hope you're well. We'll start with the City team, of course. So it was guaranteed to be a slight rotation, but not loads, with Stefan in goal, Walker, Stones, Ake and Cancelo back 4, with Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan in the middle, Mahrez on the right, Folden on the left, with Grealish up top in the false 9. What was your thoughts on the City team, Bernard?
Yeah, I think apart from the defence, I thought the midfield and forwards was pretty much as I thought. I didn't know Jesus was injured when I sort of did my little predicted team, so I wasn't aware of that. It was the back really. I didn't know it was going to be Stefan or Ederson, to be honest with you. I mean, sometimes he sticks Ederson in the cup games, but I think quite rightly Stefan was put in, even though he's only come back from the US, hadn't he, playing for the US a couple of days before, and I think Ederson arrived back slightly before him or something like that. But it was the Ake Stones combination surprised me. I thought Stones would play, but I thought it'd be next to Diaz or Laporte. But that did surprise me. But obviously, as I say, I've not been disappointed with Ake in the past, so it didn't worry me. It was a good enough team to do the job.
Yeah, definitely. Big up True City fan in the chat as well, Patrick. Hope you're well, mate. Next up, then we'll look at the Fulham team. They were expected to play for their full strength team, to be honest, in this match. So it was Gazzaniga in goal, a back 4 of Nico Williams on loan from Liverpool, Tosin, a recognisable face there, Adara Bayoyo, Tim Ream and Joe Bryan in the back 4, with Nathaniel Chalobah and Harrison Reed in the midfield, another former Liverpool player on the right-hand side, Harry Wilson, Neeskens Cabano on the left, Fabio Carvalho, who was linked to Liverpool in January, just behind Alexander Mitrovic, who has been Fulham's main man really this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, looking at that, I was quite obviously. I'll say Tosin because I haven't got a clue how to pronounce his surname, so I'll just say it's interesting to see Tosin come back. And Mr. Ream stayed on the pitch a bit longer than he did a couple of years ago. If you remember, he got sent off after about six minutes, and obviously that knackered Fulham's chances in the FA Cup a couple of years ago. But Mitrovic is doing very, very well. I know there's that guy who's linked with the guy who scored the goal. Was linked with Carvalho, linked with Liverpool. I mean, watching them, obviously, when they're playing up the other end, you don't get, just throw an arm in the south stand, you don't get a good view of them. I've not had a chance to watch the full match back. I've only watched highlights. And there's no one I thought that was playing that I thought, oh, I'd love to have them at City. You know what I mean? They just played some good football as a team. And individually, there's no one. Mitrovic was quite quiet. As I said, Stefan wasn't really tested that much. And I say, didn't he? So, and he is one of those players, Mitrovic, isn't he? He can look fantastic, but he does, certainly in the Premier League last time, he was a bit of a disaster. It was a bit of a waste of time, wasn't he? And I don't expect anything different this time if they do come up.
Yeah, definitely. The next thing we'll look at then is the attack momentum. Fulham did have periods, more periods than some Premier League teams have this season, but we were on top, which is expected, to be honest, isn't it?
Yeah, that sort of, I think that bears out the even first half, to be honest with you. I think that's sort of where we probably just edged it, but it could have easily got in as a draw at half time. And then that second half, I think Fulham, because we got the 2 early goals, I think deflated them a little bit, and they got tired. They're going to get tired. They play some nice football, but coming up against a team like City, which they don't do at their level of football, they're going to get tired. So if once we got those couple of goals in the second half, they were a bit demoralised, to be honest with you, I think, and they just try to sort of damage limitation, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We'll look at the stats next up then. But first, big up Chelsea fan in the chat. True City fan says we need to sign that Tosin fella. Looks like a real talent. Would you agree with that?
I think he's pulling your leg, mate.
Yeah, I do think so myself as well.
I'm sure he is. I know he is.
We'll look at these stats then. From the game, 61% possession to 39%. That's a lot lower than what we normally have. 19 shots to 6 shots on target to 3, 6 shots off target to 3, 7 block shots to none, 11 corners to 2, 3 offsides to 2, 9 fouls to 6, 1 yellow card to none, 2 big chances each, no big chances missed to 1, 1 counter attack to none, 1 counter attack shot to none, 10 shots inside the box to 3, 9 shots outside the box to 3, 2 saves each, 618 passes to 403, 89% accurate passes to 85%, 54% accurate long balls to 53%, 13% accurate crosses to 20%, 75% accurate successful dribbles to 54%, 113 times we lost possession, Fulham with only 103, 44 duels won to 42, 9 aerial duels won to 6, 14 tackles to 20, 9 interceptions to 4, and 8 clearances to 19. What do you think about those stats, Bernard?
I think the City showed Fulham a lot of respect, actually. I think we got caught cold with that first goal. I think it was 4-on-3, wasn't it? I think that was the problem. We didn't expect, we just hadn't sort of got going properly. I think we'd had a good chance just before that, literally. Say half a minute before Fulham actually went and scored, and it caused a little bit cold because I noticed when Fulham had the ball in defence, we weren't pressing very high. We weren't so I thought we were showing due respect and sort of hanging back a little bit, but that's no excuse for letting that goal in so soon. If we were doing that, which was unfortunate, but I think we actually lost it and we got caught out by not having enough men back, and say Fulham were buzzing for it, obviously in them opening minutes as you'd expect them to be, but. I think City, and I think those stats there. I mean, they had a good share of play. I think City allowed that as well. I think we showed them the respect. We didn't come out like we did against, say, Chelsea, where we were sort of just trying to close everything down. I think it's Pep's strategy just to show them a little bit more respect and let them have a bit of the ball. And obviously, once we got past that 4th minute, it sort of worked. The plan worked. They couldn't, they had a lot of the ball, but they had very few chances. So whatever Pep's strategy was, I think it worked on the day against a team we know can score goals on the day.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, then, we'll go to the players, of course, starting with the keeper, Zach Steffen. His stats look like this: 2 saves, 1 punch, 1 save from inside the box, 40 touches, 82% accurate passes, 2 out of 7 accurate long balls, 1 clearance, 1 out of 1 aerial duels were won as well. What was your thoughts on Steffen's performance?
Yeah, well, this in the Southend game, I've not. Sorry, Swindon game, not Southend. Swindon game and this game, his last 2 games he's played. He didn't have a lot to do, but I wasn't only impressed. It wasn't at fault for the goals. Nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But I say he didn't have enough. Fulham didn't have enough sort of chances to really test him. But it was the second half when he sort of punched that ball back out to the Fulham player. That was bad for me. I know the ball seemed to move. It was up our end where we are. The ball seemed to move a little bit in the air, but he just sort of punched it straight back to the Fulham player. Unfortunately, the Fulham player fluffed it and just sort of shot, but it sort of hit the ground and just bounced into his hands. It was, really it was 4-1 then. There was no real pressure. It obviously would have been 4-2 if he'd let that in. But yeah, I wasn't overly impressed. I wasn't against Swindon. I thought there was a couple of things he didn't do right against Swindon. I think we've talked about Stefan before. I've been quite impressed with him the last few months. He's improved vastly, but I've seen a little bit of the. I think Stefan perhaps needs to get more time at the sharp end. I don't think he'll be there next season as backup keeper. I think he'll be playing for somebody loaned out or transferred even. And I think we'll either bring a young keeper in as backup, or we'll bring an older, more experienced head in as backup. Yeah. I just don't think he's getting the experience he needs now. I think training with Edison day in, day out and Carson is fine. But match practice, he's not going to get the match practice. And I think it showed a little bit. Against Fulham, who are not a bad team. And I do worry a little bit. I'm not worried about Peterborough away if he plays in that. Yeah. But I do worry if he get to the quarters and the semi-finals that it may cost us with Stefan. He's doing his best, but as I said, I just think he needs a little bit more now. I think he needs to move on and get a bit more experience for himself as well. Not just for City. He needs it himself at his level of keeper. He needs to be a number 1 now for me. Doing what he's doing at City isn't adequate for him.
Yeah. Yeah. He also tweeted after the game, solid day at the Etihad. See you in the next round.
He's confident. He's a confident lad. I mean, I don't know. Did he play for the US? Did he actually play in goal?
I think he's first choice keeper, but
I just don't know how they went on. I meant to look and I forgot all about it. See how they got on, whether he kept a clean sheet or anything. But yeah. Well, that's the thing as well. He's travelling back from there, so I'll let him. I'll say I'm not having a downer on him. I just thought he wasn't quite at it, and I say he'd only just come back from the US. So obviously he probably wasn't fully fit anyway. To be honest with you, after travelling on a plane for a few hours, I mean, it's it affects you.
Yeah, no, he actually didn't play in the Honduras game. I'm not sure about the game before though. They played Canada.
No. Yeah. Well, I assume like anything, they'll play. They've got a second keeper that will give a bit of practice to. They're playing a weaker team, I assume.
Yeah. He didn't play.
But it's not doing any good. I mean, that's the thing as well. It won't do his US thing any good if he's not being a number 1 for somebody as well. Because obviously he's not getting game time. He might start getting overlooked.
Yeah, no, he didn't play in that international break, which is a bit odd because I thought he was first choice keeper for.
Yeah. I think as I said, perhaps he just rested him and give another lad a chance. You never know.
Yeah. Next up, then we'll look at Kyle Walker. His stats look like this. Give me a moment. Kyle Walker, where's he gone? We got him here. Here we go. So Walker, 3 clearances, 3 interceptions. He was dribbled past once. 6 times he lost possession. 1 foul. He was fouled once. 70 touches. 93% accurate passes. 1 out of 2 accurate long balls as well. Thoughts on Walker's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, I think all the back foot. Well, perhaps not Aki so much because I think Aki was further up the pitch, but obviously it was a bit of confusion at the back for that first goal, and I think they were all culpable. I think obviously Stones was picking on Walker, telling him to get across. If you look back at the goal, which I've had a chance to do, and obviously Cancelo was caught out. So all the 3 of them, the only guy I would probably let off was Zaki, and that was probably because he was playing a little bit further up as we do at City. Usually we have 3 men back. That's enough. But obviously when in Fulham we've got 4 attacking you. It's not much good. But I don't blame Aki so much. But yeah, so Walker was probably culpable as the other two were in a way, but I thought it was a very good goal. I just thought he did everything right, and the ball was right with the outside of the foot into the box, and it was a well-taken goal. I thought, it'd be a bit churlish to blame the defenders, but I thought Walker played well. Apart from that, from 4 minutes on, I think all the defence played very well. We'll talk about Stones, obviously. I thought they all played pretty well from that time, but and I thought Walker, considering his, I thought Walker was probably, not quite as good as Stones, but he did a good job.
Yeah, definitely. And he tweeted after the game, he tweeted, solid performance by everyone today through to the next round of the FA Cup. Thank you all for the support. Next up then, we'll look at John Stones. His stats look like this. He scored a goal, 1 clearance, 3 tackles, 3 out of 5 ground duels were won, 2 out of 2 aerial duels were won, 7 times he lost possession, 93 touches, 94% accurate passes, 2 key passes, 10 out of 14 accurate long balls, one shot on target as well. Thoughts on Stones' performance?
Yeah, well, he's not been playing, has he? So I thought it was excellent. Great goal, which is good because I had him as my charity bet, anytime goal scorer. So I was happy about that. And I thought it was excellent because he's not been playing. For I thought as what's happened again is he fell out with Pep and stuff like this again. But I thought it was excellent, and obviously he was a senior partner with Aki. Usually, obviously, Stones plays even far better with Laporte or Diaz. I thought he had a really good game. He was, we'll do man of the match later, won't we? But he was one of 2 or 3 that I thought were the best players on the pitch, and I thought Stones played really well.
Yeah, definitely. Next up then is, of course, his centre-back partner, Nathan Ake. His stats look like this. So 1 interception, none out of 3 ground duels were won, none out of 2 aerial duels were won, 7 times he lost possession, 2 fouls, 73 touches, 92% accurate passes, and none out of 6 accurate long balls. Thoughts on Ake's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, just steady again. Nothing fantastic, but he did a job. His stats don't look that great there, but there's obviously low figures anyway. It's no big deal. I thought he played reasonably well, as I said. Where he was for the first goal and whether he was in the right place or not, only him and Pep and everyone else knows, I suppose. But forget that. And I thought he was. He was fine. He was what I expect from Aki. He did a good enough job. He gets a lot of stick, as we know, but I thought he did a good enough job to keep Fulham at bay for most of the game.
Yeah. Next up then is at left back was João Cancelo. His stats look like this. Just quickly, big up Mike and Static, both in the chat as well. So Cancelo, his stats look like this. 2 clearances, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle, 2 out of 8 ground duels were won, 2 out of 2 aerial duels were won. 11 times he lost possession, 1 foul, 78 touches, 91% accurate passes, 1 out of 1 accurate crosses, 4 out of 6 accurate long balls, 1 shot off target, 1 shot blocked, and 1 out of 2 successful dribble attempts. Thoughts on Cancelo's performance?
Yeah, I think he got a bit stymied by Fulham, didn't he? He couldn't get up as much as he liked. And obviously we know he's not the greatest defender. So obviously of the 4 guys across that defence, I would say he was probably the weakest, but we know that's not his strength. So I'm not going to pick on him. I think he was the one who supplied when Folden left that ball because he was offside. Was it him? I assume it was him.
I think so.
Crossed the ball back over before we scored the Gundogan goal. I assume it was him up the pitch, but as I say, he was a bit stuck. Because the way Fulham played, he didn't get a chance to forage forward as much as he normally did. But that's because it was Fulham. But it was okay. But I said defensively, I think those stats show it. He didn't. It wasn't great. It wasn't great on the tackling, which we just know that's not what he does. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's not a left back. He's a left. What they call him, a wing back forward sort of player. So, I don't think we'll ever have a normal left back again. To be honest with you, with Pep in charge, it'll be very, very odd if we do get a normal, straightforward. As in Walker, who isn't the greatest getting forward, but obviously he gets back and has his pace. I don't think Cancelo is expected to do that, but he was okay, nothing special.
No. Next up then is Fernandinho. His stats looks like this. Where's he gone now? Fernandinho then. 73 touches, 80% accurate passes, 2 key passes, 4 out of 5 accurate long balls, 1 shot block, none out of 1 successful dribble attempts, 4 out of 8 ground duels were won, 3 out of 4 aerial duels were won, 15 times he lost possession, 2 fouls, he was fouled twice, 1 clearance, 2 tackles, and dribble pass once as well. Thoughts on Fernandinho's performance?
Yeah, he lacked a bit of pace a couple of times. I think Carvalho outrun him once or twice, but he had a pretty solid, a bit of a dodgy foul at one stage. Did he get away with it? Did he get away without a card? There's only 1 yellow card, wasn't there? I can't remember who got the yellow card. But I saw a bit of a blatant foul, which was, if he got away with it, all credit to him. That's what he's like. He has a smile, and sometimes the ref let him off, and he's quite an inexperienced referee. I don't know if we'll talk about him later. Mr. Gilley, whatever he's called, the first time he's ever done City. So, yeah, I thought Ferner played very, very well against that sort of opposition. He was okay. He wasn't brilliant by any means, and we know he's a bit long in the tooth now. But, yeah, I think he enjoyed himself.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, actually, we've got a couple of quotes and tweets from Fernandinho. We'll start with his tweet. Job done today. On to the next round. Thanks for the support. And then a few quotes. On his son being a ball boy versus Fulham, he said it was really special for him/me because maybe I won't be able to play alongside him, but at least I play on the pitch, and he was ball boy today. Unfortunately, I couldn't score a goal to celebrate with him. He also said about that, but it's nice. He's very passionate for the game, and so am I. It's in your blood. It's important, and thanks Man City for giving me this opportunity. He also said on McAtee and Delap, I'm pretty sure in their future they're going to be part of City. I'm so happy for them, and it was just a pity that Liam's goal was ruled offside. He also said, this is the beauty of our team and the high levels / standards we have. The players who come in and come off the bench want to show what they can do. At Man City, you have to show quality every minute, and when we're winning, we just want to score more. He also said the FA Cup is really important for everyone at City, especially the players. I hope we can reach the final and give our fans 2 trips to Wembley to enjoy the day over there, and let's try to win it again. And finally, it was a typical FA Cup tie. They started better, scored first. I'm glad we scored quick and then took the lead. Overall, it was a good game and we controlled it. I'm happy we got through. It was important to go through, and now we focus on the Premier League. So yeah, that's Fernandinho. Next up is Kevin De Bruyne. We'll just get his stats up here. De Bruyne then, 2 assists, 49 touches, 77% accurate passes, 5 key passes, 1 out of 8 accurate crosses, 2 out of 3 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created, 1 shot on target, 1 out of 2 successful dribble attempts, 3 out of 7 ground duels were won, none out of 1 aerial duels were won, 18 times he lost possession, 2 tackles, and he was dribbled past twice. Thoughts on De Bruyne's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, well, he's one thing about Kevin De Bruyne, and I noticed at Southampton, it's not quite working for him, but he's non-stop at them. You can see him putting the effort in. I don't always see that. I'm not always seeing that with Kevin De Bruyne. Things aren't going right, but he seems to be sort of working really hard and trying to work his way through it. And you're going to get a moment of magic, and that's what we did. We got a couple of moments of magic. Certainly, one of them led to a goal, but perhaps obviously the corner, you can call that a moment of magic if you like, it to the near post. And that was it, the fourth goal where he played it for, the one where Mahrez tried to miss it. But obviously he picked up the ball and he ran with it and played it through superbly for Mahrez. So I say there was a lot didn't work, but you're always guaranteed a couple of cracking bits. So he's not at his best form, but it was certainly good enough. And he is trying. What makes it more important is that he is putting the effort in and looking like the quality player where things aren't going well, but he'll still stick and work hard to try and work through it, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. Next up then, in midfield next to him was, of course, Ilkay Gundogan. His stats look like this. He scored a goal, 72 touches, 88% accurate passes, none out of one accurate crosses, 1 out of 1 accurate long balls, 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target, 1 out of 1 successful dribble attempts, 3 out of 6 ground duels were won, 12 times he lost a possession, 1 foul, he was offside once, and 2 tackles. Thoughts on Gundogan's performance?
Yeah, great goal. I mean, it's nice, calm. We know he can score those goals. And we like to see him in the box. Again, he's another player who's not been playing much recently. We think, has Pep fallen out with him or as he said, something's happened. But I think the problem with Gundogan is if Pep wants to place these other, the KDBs and the Fodens and the Grealishes, obviously he's going to miss out. Bernardo, Gundogan's the odd man out, if you like. And I think he's going to be more like for the big European games and stuff like that. So he's going to have to put up with that, unfortunately, because unless people are injured, he's not going to be shoehorned in all the time. I think that's a problem. But we know he won't let us down if he does play. And he can say... He has a sort of purple patch of scoring goals, and then he goes quiet. But obviously he was in the right spot, and there's a nice little flick of it. If I remember, it wasn't even the side. I thought it's as though he did a little flick with the side of his foot. I don't know how he did it, but they say, and the goal he had even though it wasn't dead powerful, it was just so well placed, and that's what we want to see. Yeah, he had a good game, and apart from that, he played okay. It was, it's one of those games where you don't notice him so much, but he's busy doing the simple things, which is what you need. You always need someone to do the simple stuff as well as the clever stuff, and that's what Gundogan does.
Yeah, and he tweeted after the game, "See you in the 5th round." Simple as that, really. Next up then is Riyad Mahrez. His stats look like this. 2 goals, 1 assist, 2 shots on target, 1 shot off target, 47 touches, 86% accurate passes, 1 key pass, none out of 2 accurate crosses, 1 out of 2 ground duels were won, 8 times he lost a possession, 1 offside, 1 tackle, and he was dribbled past once as well. Thoughts on Riyad Mahrez's performance?
Yeah, again, some good, some bad, some typical Riyad Mahrez. But the thing is with Riyad Mahrez, he's making himself undroppable because he's the only one who can score penalties at the moment. So he's always got to play because we can't rely on anybody else. Unfortunately, at the moment, we can rely. He didn't score for Algeria, did he, the other day? But no. Obviously, he carried on sort of putting that ball in high to the goalie. It wasn't. I mean, the goal, if you think, could have probably, if it had been lower, might have got it. But because he's putting in that top corner, he's getting away with it. And it was a great penalty. And that's why he's undroppable. And his second goal, well, I mean, that wasn't going anywhere near the goal. It was his right foot, which is his dodgy foot. And I think it was literally, I think it was more or less going back to Kevin De Bruyne rather than towards goal. It wasn't a great shot. I don't know if he's had it took off him. It certainly wasn't on target. So obviously the dodgy goal committee would probably take it off him, I assume, because there's no way it was on target when he shot it unless they're being kind. But yeah, he did some great. That first goal, great. That's what we want off him. So there was good and bad with Mahrez, but hey, we'll take the good bits and forgive the bad bits.
Yeah, definitely. Next up then is Phil Folden. We've got a stat on Mahrez here. Since the beginning of 2020, Riyad Mahrez has scored more goals for Man City in all competitions than any other player. with 36 since the start of 2020. So next up is Phil Foden. His stats look like this. One shot on target, one shot block, 3 out of 3 successful dribble attempts, 55 touches, 88% accurate passes, one key pass, none out of 1 accurate crosses, none out of 1 accurate long balls, 3 out of 6 ground duels were won, 1 out of 1 aerial duels were won, 10 times he lost a possession, and 1 interception. Thoughts on Foden's performance?
Yeah, a bit better from Phil. He's not been playing that great, has he? Last 2 or 3 games, but that heat map there showed he didn't exactly tear any area up particularly, but it was all over the place. And a little bit of nice to see a little bit of common sense as well with that first goal where he knew he was offside and he cleverly ignored it and let Cancelo, I think he was in the corner, pick it up and put it back across. And that's what you want. You need a football. It's all right, these guys working hard and running around like scolded cats, but you need them to look as though what they're doing, have a football brain, which obviously Walker didn't have the other week when he kicked that guy in the Champions League. That's the opposite to what we want to see. You want to see, and Foden's only a young player. I thought that was his best game for certainly the last 4 or 5 he's played. To be honest with you, a bit more like his old self. And obviously, as I said, he wasn't tearing up any particular area of the pitch. He was just making himself available and did some good things as well. So yeah, I was quite impressed with Foden. It looks as though he's got his little bit of mojo back after his fallout with Pep over the drinking incident with Grealish. So it looks as though he might be getting back up to speed again.
Yeah, definitely. Next up is Grealish. Big up Mojis in the chat as well. I've never seen you in the chat before, so if you are new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Next up then is who you actually just mentioned, Jack Grealish. In the false 9, his stats look like this: 1 shot on target, 3 shots blocked, 5 out of 5 successful dribble attempts. He won the penalty. We didn't have more than one. 59 touches, 97% accurate passes, 3 key passes, 9 out of 13 ground duels were won, none out of 1 aerial duels were won. He lost possession twice, 2 fouls. He was fouled twice, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, and he was dribbled past twice as well. Thoughts on Grealish's performance?
Yeah, I think those stats are probably amongst the best you've read out so far today, to be honest with you. Look at those pure stats-wise. The thing that annoyed about Grealish was the very first goal, because it led from his shot being blocked, if you remember. That's the first goal we scored. And at the time when I was stood behind the goal. At the time, I just thought, just shoot a bit quicker. He sort of paused. He pauses too much. He should have just got his shot off straight away, and he waited just a split second too long. And obviously it got blocked. It all turned out well in the end. So, but then you see those stats, and he did a lot of hard work, and that penalty that he won, fantastic. He won the ball, sort of took it, and that's what I want to see from him. I want to see him running at defenders around that middle, and he frightened the Fulham defence and panicked the defender into fouling him. And I think that's what we want to see more of Grealish doing. I think that's why Pep wants him as a false 9, because if he can start making those sort of runs on a more a proper basis, he doesn't have to score all the time. He can get fouled and give a penalty. And people say he sort of, I think Michael Brown, listening back, was co-commentator with the City commentary of the City match, and he's a bit critical of him, as though. But I mean, if you're going to win the foul, win the foul. He didn't. That's what he did, and that's what players do. That's part of football. He's not cheating. He's making the defender foul him because he can't get to it. It's clever. It's just clever play. It's not cheating. And Michael Brown was intimating that it was a bit. Not proper football, not something you shouldn't do. But I think it's rubbish. He did everything right, and he drew the tackle, and he got the penalty and won the penalty for us. I want to see more of that from Grealish, and I think that's what Pep wants him to do. That sort of little run, if you can do 5 or 6 of those in a game and still play some nice little touches as well. That's what we want. And I say, I'm not going to have a downer on Grealish. A lot of people have. I'm not. I think he's contributed a lot so far this season, considering it's his first season.
Yeah, definitely. And it normally takes time for players to get used to surroundings.
I think
at least
it's mostly opposing fans slagging him off, but I have seen City fans slagging him off as well, jumping on the bandwagon. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous at this stage in his City career.
Yeah, definitely. He tweeted after the game as well. He said, "Enjoyable day at the Etihad. See you in the next round."
You've seen that thing on social media where that girl in the chair.
Yeah.
I mean, I filled up watching it. I mean, that's just wonderful. Just made my day watching that. So I'd forgive him anything just for that. I know footballers will do it, but I mean, he didn't have to. He didn't have to go around and give her a hug, and she was so happy, and it was really nice to watch. And I sort of brought a tear to a glass eye, as we say. You know, it's that was wonderful.
Yeah. Next up, then we're on to the subs now. The first sub was Zinchenko, who came on first. His stats look like this: 1 tackle, 1 out of 1 ground duels were won, none out of 1 aerial duels were won. 3 times he lost possession, 24 touches, 91% accurate passes, none out of 1 accurate crosses as well. Thoughts on Zinchenko's performance while he was on the pitch?
Yeah, I thought he looked lively. For the time he was on. He was just typical Zinchenko. He didn't. By that stage, Fulham were pretty much a busted flush. They weren't threatening for the last 20, 25 minutes. They'd run out of ideas. I think that stat thing we saw very early doors. I think they had a couple of chances up to mid half, and then it was nothing really. It was not to say they was attacking our end. And I don't remember. I remember, say, the one that dodgy one that Stefan punched out, and then he did one where he sort of saved it low to his right on the edge of the 6-yard box, so sort of more across than a shot. And that was about it. And Zinchenko was happy enough. He just did what he had to do. He wasn't under any real pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Next up then is Raheem Sterling. His stats look like this. 1 shot off target, 1 shot blocked, 1 out of 1 successful dribble attempts, 12 touches, 88% accurate passes, 1 key pass, 1 out of 2 ground duels were won. He lost possession twice as well. Thoughts on Sterling's performance?
Yeah, I think everyone just remembers the free kick. I think that's all with Sterling. That was one of the worst free kicks I've ever seen him. Well, I've seen plenty of worse free kicks from City players, but recently that was just an awful. I was lucky when we got the free kick on near the box. I thought I was trying to figure out who was going to take it, of who was on the pitch, and obviously I didn't even know it was Sterling until I watched the highlights. I hadn't realised it was him that took the free kick, but I think he hit the second tier, didn't he, or something with it. I'm not too sure, but I remember a couple of okay things, but again, the game was sort of pretty much over when all the subs came on.
Yeah. Next up, nice to see him back on the pitch. It was Liam Delap. Next up, 13 minutes played, 2 out of 2 successful dribble attempts, 8 touches, 50% accurate passes, 1 key pass, 2 out of 2 ground duels were won. He lost possession 3 times and he was offside once. Thoughts on Delap's performance while he was on the pitch?
Yeah, the highlights I've watched, I've not been able to see how much offside he was, how far offside he was, but I've been told he was definitely offside. It wasn't even close, really. It was, which is a shame. It would have been nice for him to get that. As I said, I think Pep's been saying some nice things about him, and I think we've probably said it on here before he got his injury. I thought Pep would bring Delap into this, not to start games, but he would get a lot of game time while Pep messed around with potentially playing a striker, which he's not been used to playing, and obviously on the basis that never know, a certain Haaland could be on his way, or even Harry Kane, God forbid. And Pep would try and use Liam Delap as a sort of just to have a look, just to change his tactics a little bit. In games where we were comfortable, like against Fulham, it would bring him on and just try and tweak his system a little bit, getting ready perhaps for a striker, which we have got a striker now in theory. We've got this Argentinian coming as well. So I think Pep will do that. I think he'll use Delap now, if he stays fit between now and the end of the season, in little doses, just to try things, just to see how it works. And I don't think Delap did anything wrong in the time he was on. I think he looked lively, and it was just nice to see him back, and I think he did okay.
Yeah. Another academy prospect next up, James McAtee, also came on. He was on the pitch for 12 minutes, 17 touches, 100% accurate passes, 1 out of 1 accurate long balls, 1 out of 2 successful dribble attempts. He lost the ball once and he was fouled once as well. Thoughts on McAtee's performance while he was on the pitch?
Yeah, I didn't say it was the wrong end for me where he was, but from what I've read between the lines, and I think Pep was happy with his contribution, and I think he should, with the fact he signed his extension now, I think he's going to be a happy chappy. I think we'll see a few more minutes from McAtee, but that then passes, was it 100% pass completely? Or he had a couple where he intercepted or whatever, but yeah, I think it was neat. I think it was neat and tidy, and that's just what we wanted at that stage of the game.
Yeah, definitely. And the final sub was Bernardo Silva. So his stats look like this. 10 touches, 100% accurate passes, 1 key pass, none out of 1 accurate crosses, none out of 1 successful dribble attempts, none out of 2 ground duels were won. He lost the ball 3 times as well. Thoughts on Bernardo's performance while he was on the pitch?
I didn't notice him, mate. To be honest with you, I didn't think, oh, that's Bernardo in the distance. My eyes trying to focus on who was up the other end of the pitch, but he was involved because those stats show it. But I don't remember him doing anything, mate. To be honest with you,
No. A couple of stats before we move on to Pep. Our updated top scorers from this season then. Mahrez is on 15 after his brace, Sterling on 9, Bernardo on 8, Folden and De Bruyne on 7, Jesus and Gundogan on 6, and most goal contributions, Mahrez on 21, Jesus on 14, Folden and De Bruyne on 13, Sterling on 12, Cancelo on 11, Gundogan on 11, and Bernardo on 10. We'll move over to Pep then. Do you think he got it right on Saturday?
yeah, I think he did. As I said, I think his strategy, he didn't plan to go a goal down after 4 minutes, but fortunately we were very quickly equalised, so it's no big deal. And I think he just paid Fulham due respect, and I think the team played within themselves to sort of cope with Fulham's threat for the 86 minutes. Obviously not for the first 4 minutes, but yeah, I think they did everything right, and I think Pep picked the right team. I don't think anyone let him down. To be honest with you, in that team, I think they all had a decent go, and as it should be, we play all right at the top of the championship, but there is a level, a gulf. There should be a gulf between us, which there is. And yeah, Pep did everything right, and even bringing, as I say, for him, bringing on 5 substitutes. I can't remember the last time he brought on 5 substitutes in a game. Must be a while ago now. So it gives a couple of the young lads a run out as well, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. We've got quite a few quotes, so just sit back and listen, to be honest, because we've got quite a few here. Pep said, after 2 weeks off, it's a mystery. Very pleased to be in the next round. This round showed us there can be many surprises, and we won against a very good team. He also said, as a player, he has special quality. He understands how to attract opponents and have to pass the ball to the free man. Always close to the box. You feel he has a feeling to score a goal. In the last year, we struggled with penalties, and now he is a guarantee. That's about Mahrez. They are a team who monopolize the ball. The first half, the pressing was not good. That was my fault because we expected one movement that didn't work well. The second half was much better, and of course, the quality of our players made the difference. Pep said Fernandinho again played an exceptional game. Gundogan again scored a goal, but more than that was his presence in the game. I'm very pleased for everyone because they were ready. He also said the toughest moments are coming. It's how you react in bad moments. That's what big teams do. This is what I want. What's more important than winning 5-0 is how we react to bad moments in 90 minutes. We try and play and train at a maximum level of 100%. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Even if you win a lot, it doesn't happen. Maybe against adversity, you don't get what you deserve. That's not a problem. And the next game is the same, but one day when you fight against adversity, you will get what you deserve. I want Pep also said, I want to win always, of course, but I want to win when we deserve it. For that, you have to do it better and better. And in the bad moments, be resilient. In the last 2 games, I've had no complaints. I am very pleased. Liam Delap will dictate to me. The plan depends on his behaviour and performance here. He's a player who trains every day with us. You cannot imagine the improvements from him, from Romeo Lavia, Luke Mbete, McAtee, Palmer as well. He also said to train at this intensity, open and humble enough to improve. The pitch depends on them and what they do on and off the pitch. James McAtee played exceptional versus Fulham in the right spots. Every action he touched, the action became better. He also said on the lap, every training session against Laporte, Diaz, Stones, Ake, he fights and most of the time wins the duels or breaks his nose or something like that. He also said, if you fight in every training session, it will pay off in your career. You will get what you deserve. Nobody knows what will happen next season. What he has to do is work for himself. Do what he is doing and be fit, be patient, and in the right moments for the quality he has, he will get what he deserves. That's about Delap again, I do believe. And on Delap again, last season he grew up a lot. He's a type of striker we don't have, a killer, a typical British striker. He has special qualities. The only problem we had this season is he's been injury after injury because of problems with his ankles. He's a special quality, different type of striker. He has this quality and I'm happy for him. He also said, I'm going to tell you something. I know exactly which team we face today and which team we beat. When a team is top of the championship, it's because they're good. Top side, Marco Silva has created an incredible team. He also said, we spoke a lot with the players about how difficult it would be. We should fight, run, defend well. They are a team who monopolised the ball. The first half pressing was not good. That was my fault. We expected one movement that didn't work well. We have seen how many Premier League teams this weekend suffered to qualify for the 5th round of the FA Cup. United are out. That was a funny Friday night. The competition is tricky. When we conceded, I said, I'm curious to see how we will react. And finally, I suffered a lot. Do you believe me? We played against a fantastic team. It's not a surprise. They're top of the championship. If they keep the group together and fight for the same target to be in the Premier League next season, they will do it. So they're all the quotes on Pep. We'll move over to Fulham next. How do you think they played, Bernard?
Yeah, I think they are what they are. I've seen a few. I've not seen full games. I've seen quite a lot of highlights of Fulham over the last few weeks. Yeah, they're just one of those teams that are too good probably for the championship, but. You know, unless they actually get some better defenders, I think defensively wise, even though they've been scoring a lot of goals, they have made a lot of mistakes at the back, and I think we saw a couple of errors against us, which led to goals as well, which isn't good. You can't make those errors against Premier League teams. It just doesn't work. You can get away with it perhaps sometimes in the Championship, and that's the problem with Fulham. They do have ability. But obviously, they come up and don't strengthen that defence from the keeper to 2 or 3 of the defenders. I mean, Tosin's a nice lad. He's a good lad, but he didn't leave City because he's very good. He left City because he's not good enough to play at that level. And I didn't see anything to say we made a mistake with him. So yeah, I think they'll do it. I think they should win it. I think they'll win the championship. I think they're good enough to do that. But I say a lot of unless they strengthen, they're going to struggle again next season defensively, and they're not going to score. Mitrovic isn't going to score 28 goals as he has done so far. He's not going to get anywhere near that in the Premier League. Well, he might surprise me, but I doubt it. And he didn't get a lot of opportunities against us, and that's what happens at that level.
Yeah. We'll move on to a quote from Marco Silva then. He says, I think everyone in this stadium felt that Fulham Football Club was here. and we showed what we're capable of. He's basically saying he thought Fulham played well. In the first half, I think they did. Second half, not quite so much. We'll move on to the fans then, and we'll have a quick look at the Fulham fans here. They, as you can tell, the middle tier and the lower tier were sold out. Of quite a few empty seats in the top tier. Make sure to follow me on this Twitter account, by the way, at Footy Away Fans. This is my account, so go and follow me over there. What was your thoughts on the fans on Saturday, Bernard?
Well, it's a funny one. I mean, the weather was awful. I think a lot of City fans didn't. I think there was a few empty seats knocking about. There's loads, quite a few near me, where I was. There was a lot of people near me. I didn't even recognise that. Obviously, so there's a lot of people who hadn't gone that would go to the league games and have season cards. I literally say there was 50 guys around me. I probably recognised 3 or 4. That's how different it was with in the singing section, which you imagine people are going to turn up week in, week out for that section, but it was totally different. And I think with a lot of younger kids, I think perhaps a lot spent more time on the concourse as well with that weather. I think so. It didn't look great on telly, even though it's supposed to be a sellout. I mean, you couldn't buy a ticket for it a week before the match. And yet there's a lot of empty spaces, which is a bit of a worry. I don't know what the club are saying about that, or was it because of the weather and a lot of younger people who perhaps couldn't, might have been in the back getting a drink and keeping warm and stuff like this, because it was a horrible day. But as I say, atmosphere-wise, it was okay. It wasn't great in the singing section. It was all right. Fulham aren't the most liveliest. I just get a bit tired of the young lads. All they do, they don't sing. They just throw abuse at shout abuse at each other. Across the stewards. It's just, in little doses it's fine, but a lot of them are at it all game. It just wears you down. I mean, just watch the match. Half of them must watch about 10 minutes of the 90 minutes because they're too busy looking at what's going on in the visitors section. In the opposing fans and slagging people off and gesticulating and threatening to see them outside and God knows what. It's just pathetic, really. Just sing and enjoy the game. I mean, I'm old school, but I don't think there's anything wrong in that. Young lads, you should be there to enjoy it and sing and watch the game, more importantly. But as I say, there wasn't many around me watching the game. More interesting what was going on across, because we're near the away fans, so and it's not as though they're a big bunch, the Fulham fans, but the Cockneys aren't they? So they're very loud, but very, very vociferous for Fulham, actually. We played them a few times, and I thought there's a lot of young lads for them as well. A lot of young lads come up from Fulham, to be honest with you, sort of teenagers. And I've not really seen that in the Fulham makeup before. Perhaps they are getting quite a few younger fans down there at the cottage now. Perhaps that's what they're trying to do, getting younger fans. There's certainly a lot in the ground, but yeah, it wasn't the greatest atmosphere. I didn't think it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. Certainly not the best cup atmosphere, to be honest with you. But as I say, everyone seemed happy, and the young kids seemed to enjoy it, even though they're probably freezing to death, the poor buggers.
Yeah. Next up, then, we'll talk about Jared Gillett, the referee. How do you think he did?
Yeah, I said it was his first game in charge of City ever. He's never refereed a City game before. He's been in the VAR stuff and been a lino, I think, and stuff like that. He was all right, but I think the team. I think it wasn't a hard game, was it? It wasn't a dirty game. I don't remember any particular, apart from Fernandinho trying to foul a couple of theirs. I can't really remember much happening. He only showed one yellow card, and I think. I think both teams respected it and tried to play football, and I don't think he needed to show cards. I think both teams tried to play it in the proper way. So he had an easy game. I'd like to see him refereeing City Liverpool or City United, but or I probably wouldn't like to see him refereeing those games. But I think he had a nice easy one to start his refereeing City career anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Next question then. Man of the match, who do you give it to?
Well, I had it between Stonesy and Mahrez, and I'd just give it John Stones because of I just thought it was excellent at the back. Say, discounting the first 4 minutes, I'm not going to blame him particularly. it was the fault of all the defenders. I think that first goal or the formation, and I think Pep sort of admitted that in what he said about the first half. It didn't quite work. Fulham didn't do what he expected them to do, and I think that's what happened after 4 minutes. I think they caught us a bit. Caught us out a bit. Simple as that. Fortunately, it didn't last long. But I'll give it Stones. I thought Mahrez was okay, but as I said, penalty brilliant. But that second goal, I'm sorry, it wasn't going anywhere near the goal. It was a pretty poor effort, to be honest with you. But he did a lot of good things. So I'd have to edge it to Stones. I mean, over Mahrez just for that goal as well. I mean, we seem to be scoring quite a few from corners these days, and as I said, it won me a few quid for charity as well. So I'll take that.
Yeah. And finally, Peterborough away in the next round of the cup. What's your thoughts on that draw?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to pick on Peterborough, like that guy from City Extra, who's a bit of a... I do like the lad. I've known him a few years, not personally, but I've followed him from when they used to do a recording in the back shed, didn't they? I think they used to do it in the shed and have drinks, and I've listened. So I used to listen to him when they did that, and then he went over to City Extra, who I don't particularly follow because I don't always agree with what they put out. To be honest with you, on City Extra, they try and get a reaction. In the same way, someone like Goldbridge, try and get a reaction. I don't think there's any need for it. And obviously, Peterborough for me, I've been to Peterborough. I was there in '81 for the 5th round of the FA Cup, so exactly the same round that we've got this time. And they were waving Stanley knives at us and things like that in the corner. That's the sort of period it was at that time. So a little ground, not very friendly ground at that stage. I don't think they've improved it much, but all right, they're struggling in the Championship, but you have to show them respect. And as I say, I know we went on to that City Extra lad, but you could say it in a funny way without being nasty. And I just thought it was a bit disrespectful to Peterborough. They've got like everyone, they've got a history. They've got their own history. It's not about winning trophies. Peterborough, the posh. They used to have a guy who used to come on the pitch. I don't know if he still does, in a top hat and tails and a top hat. He used to obviously with a monocle, because they were nicknamed the posh, obviously posh people. So that, I don't know if they still do that. I have no idea, to be honest with you. But that's what they had in '81 anyway, when I was down there. So a bit more respect perhaps from City fans. I think most City fans have jumped on him for that as well. Although he did get about 2,000 likes as well. So that just about sums it up, really, doesn't it, at this day and age? But it'd be good. It'd be good. And I think that's, if anything, obviously that'll rile Peterborough, because obviously the Peterborough fans know about it now. And obviously they're sort of, obviously, we don't need any more aggravation as City fans. We get enough crap anyway. So obviously you don't need the Peterborough fans sort of being nasty, the big heads and all this. That's not who we are. That shouldn't be who we are as a club. And I hope they enjoy it. I hope the Peterborough fans enjoy it. Sell out. I don't know how many tickets we're getting. I don't know if I'll be able to get a ticket or not. I hope they sell out and enjoy the day, and that's what it's about. The FA Cup. That's what it's about. Swindon. I thought Swindon was wonderful. We got respect from them, and we gave it back as well. And so, that's why hopefully this will get sort of pushed to one side, and we'll get on with the football. Should be good. It should be a good game, but we'll play a strong team. If we don't win that, then we don't deserve to win anything.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up there then. Just quickly before we wrap it up, mate, where can we find you?
Yeah, if you go on Twitter, obviously, it's nice and easy now. It's Bernard Deneen, @Bernard_Deneen. And obviously, my little City channel's called the Citizen channel. So obviously, but if you put the Citizen, CITIZEN, not with the Y, not the new way of doing it, the old way of doing it, you'll find me, or @Bernard_Deneen. Put that in any search engine. And I do stuff on films and TV as well. So if you want to have a rest from football and you like films and TV, I do reviews and information blog on that as well.
Yeah, cheers for that, mate.
No worries.
You can find me at MCFC Hibs on Twitter, also @FootyAwayFans_. Go and follow me over there. Also here, of course, Dugout Daily and my F1 channel just there. Hit the apex. Make sure to go and subscribe to that as well. Everybody, take care, and we'll see you all later. Up the Blues. See you in a bit, guys.